Alright. Fogfjord. The graveyard was right after this stage, wasn't it? I think so. They're both long ones, long gauntlets, but I'm nearing the end. Ooh, infantry bow, 5. Not worth replacing the infinite ammo one with, definitely. Oh dear, that bat is aggroed, but it was stunned long enough, thankfully. Yeah, this is actually a fantastic setup here. I probably won't be able to continue to the end of it simply because the damage won't end up scaling up, unless I end up finding a higher tier replacement. But for now at least, I'm good, again, barring any dumb mistakes on my part. That always has the potential to be a killer. Oh shit! I did not realize he would aggro to me from that far of a distance. That's what I get for not being safe and panning my camera. It doesn't even look like I'm going to acquire anything good here, unfortunately. Just some shitty lightning that I have no interest in, alas. I can afford to make a few more mistakes since I have that extra healing charge. That was the main reason why I wanted to go with that. I know my flaws. Oh, magnetic grenade, fantastic. Do I get rid of my Biter Swarm though? That's a difficult choice. Ooh. I don't want to get rid of Cluster Bomb, that just is really great for dealing a shit ton of damage. But Magnetic Grenade is great for either taking out a whole bunch of weaker enemies that are clustered together, or just clustering together stronger enemies to make other things more effective. Yeah, you know what? I raved about how well the Magnetic Grenade comboed with the Cluster Bomb, so I should show that off. So do that, and basically everything dies. Don't even have to think about it. Let's try venturing on the rooftops. He's gonna warp back up. I know your playbook, buddy. It still amazes me that the axe comes back, usually in these types of pixel art games, especially the retro-inspired ones, although I suppose this one isn't really retro-inspired at all, so it does make sense. But usually, if you kill the enemy, any projectiles they've spawned disappear. But not here, not as I first found out when I first fought them, and got really surprised by that. And that is good, otherwise they would be less threatening. Okay, this OP strategy that I just raved about, turns out it's stopped by a door. Death Orb wouldn't be stopped by a door. I wouldn't mind picking up that skill. That is so good. Then again, so is that. How do I get to those upper rooms? I only just remembered that I have a triple jump. Not that it's actually coming in handy. I don't actually get enough air time to make my way up there. That kind of calls into question the point of that. Like, I would think the whole point of extra jumps would be to allow you to more easily get up to high places, especially later on in this stage, where that comes into play a lot, but nope. I mean, I guess it gives you a bit more dodginess if you want to use your jump for evading things. But yeah, still not nearly as good as I was hoping. I forgot that that keeps continuing on. I'm just gonna heal in advance, be safe. Oh, none of these are situations I want to deal with. Maybe I can handle this. Thank you, cluster bombs. I do wish that with the grenades only, that if you knock them back at him, they exploded. Although it does seem like he does get injured by the explosion if you explode them yourself, so that's okay, I guess. Might have to scale up another building and then cross backwards to that way. Just a rally from afar, that works. Yeah, the longer I continue to play, the more I realize that the infinite ammo bow is actually a really useful item. Way better than most of the other ranged weapons that I favored earlier on. Really, it's the issue with ammo. Earlier on, in the earlier stages, ammo is not too big of a deal, but it very much becomes one later on when there are just so many enemies and they get so strong that running out of ammo actually becomes a concern. And of course, the ammo-limited bows are nigh worthless against the bosses, since you can't recover ammo from them. I really feel that they should patch that, if nothing else, because it ends up making... That was close. It ends up making nearly an entire class of items just worthless. And it means that if you stick with them, you're basically making yourself weaker if you try to make it to those bosses. So even if they're useful for dealing with crowds beforehand, they're ultimately not something that you want to work with. Cluster bomb starting to show its age a little bit. Not good enough to take down these tanky dudes as quick as I'd like. I would not mind picking up a stronger replacement, that's for damn sure. I'll continue to level up skills. I might go with health next time. Whoa, that is a rude situation. This is just a series of increasingly rude situations. Oh. Thankfully, I didn't screw up there. Okay. That was rude. Just gonna take the time to heal up. Okay, that's the building I just came from. I wasn't sure if it was this one or the one further to the right. Let's see, is it worth parkouring all the way back this way? Might be like another room I can access or something, I'm not sure. There's also an elite. I'm gonna get rid of every enemy around him before I even have a hope to tackle him. Oh dear, I did not mean to do that. Well, it seems like the elite enemies, at least the ones that don't teleport by default, don't actually start teleporting until you get them to their second phase, at 50% of their health. That's something I've realized by now. So as long as I don't direct too much damage towards him, I should be fine. Okay. Getting rid of that one down there would be difficult, but I shouldn't need to. I should be able to keep him out of the fray. I'm gonna rely mainly on my skills, I think. I think that's the safest way of handling this. Okay. And now he should start... Yep, teleporting. Can I get away? Kind of, okay. That worked far better than it had any right to. Let me try and retreat to a good spot for me to start going aggressive. This is not turning out well. Come on. Okay. I knew he would quickly teleport to me. Thankfully, I timed the skill just right. Oh, I'm out of healing. That's not a good sign. I mean... yeah, I'd say this is better than my current amulet, but it was not worth the damage I took. That is a huge cut to my survivability in this stage. At this point, I just cannot get hit. If I get hit once, I'm dead. It's like I'm under the effect of the curse. I guess if I come across an opportunity to get something for being under that effect, I might as well take it then. Assuming I don't come across any healing beforehand. To try and maximize my survival then, I think I'll try and lame it out for the rest. Just attack from a distance if I have the opportunity, although I'm at the end. Now I could explore more of this stage for more level ups, but at this point, that risk just isn't worth it. I'll take being slightly weaker over most likely dying before ever reaching the graveyard. Okay, that showed up just in time. Fantastic. If I'm gonna pick up the Burning Mace, now would be the time, so why not? Let's see what you're about, buddy. Tier 5, not bad. Increased damage on a burning target. So, that is some fantastic synergy. What's its moveset like? Okay, just 2 repeated hits over and over, and it's fairly slow. It also doesn't have that good of a range. I'll see how its damage ends up looking though, especially with that extra damage on burning enemies, which it itself causes. Hopefully I didn't make a mistake by giving up those daggers. Why not give it a damage boost if I'm gonna be using it, even if only for a little bit. And then funnel the rest of that into the... Actually, you know what? Maybe I'll try out the Spiteful Sword soon. If the Burning Mace turns out to be crap, and I don't pick up a better weapon, I can gamble on that then. I really shouldn't be gambling at all, given the fact that I'm trying to go for a win, but I really don't know what's good against the second boss anyway, so it's kind of a moot point. Do I have anything else that benefits from burning? The bow, and that's it. If only I had that bonus damage on the Cluster Bomb and Magnetic Grenade. Alas. I wonder, if I had kept the triple jump, would I be able to make it up there? That's a very similar situation to the start of the Promenade. There might be a guaranteed blueprint up there. I'll have to check that out at some point. Yeah, even with that increased damage against burning enemies, the damage on this is not great. It does cause burning pretty well though. So it might still be okay, but I'm probably gonna trade it up as soon as I get something better. Who knows, it might end up being good against the boss, causing a bunch of DOTs. Alright, let's see what's in the first inside area. Oh! Come on, weapon, come on, weapon. Ah, horizontal turret. Plus damage on a burning target. I don't know. I like my current combo. Maybe I'll swap out for that later, but yeah. Like when I'm about to go on to the boss, because I feel like the horizontal turret would probably be better against that. But for just dealing with the regular enemies, this combo is much superior. Yeah, this Burning Mace is kind of trash. Well, I had to try it out. I had to see, I had a science. That is a rude situation. Okay, I tried to do that without taking damage. I did not succeed, but I think one of them dropped a throwing knife. Oh, god damn it, wow. Good thing I have all that healing. Yep, throwing knife. Now if I can only get up there without dying immediately. Okay, jumping over him works to avoid that. Of course, it's the spikes again. What else could it have ever possibly been that killed me? Okay, so I've had a few runs since the last one, and I finally managed to make it back to the graveyard, and I have a pretty good setup. Rapier 6, Lightning Bolt 5. I'm actually taking quite a Lightning to Lightning Bolt. It's not amazing, but the damage does actually come out pretty fast, and it does get up there when you start getting into the crits. Combined with damage buffer, it's actually a pretty nice, effective method of range damage. Damage buffer, by the way, is incredibly good. I guess I really should have realized this, given that it says it adds 359 damage to each attack, which in a lot of cases is either a 50% boost, or with the faster striking weapons like Lightning Bolt, it ends up basically doubling it more or less. I actually wonder if that description is accurate, because it seems like it adds a lot more damage, but like with most of my things I seem to do like 2 to 3 times for each hit, so I don't know, maybe there's some weird calculations going on behind the scenes. But yeah, damage buffer, very good. Hopefully I'll be able to show that off. And then I got Cluster Bomb, which is basically just for doing a whole bunch of burst damage at once. Useful for clearing out the weaker elements of a crowd, a weaker enemy like that mage. Or just stunning an enemy sufficiently for when I go in for melee strikes. So yeah, I think I might actually have it here. We'll see. Oh, forgot about the asshole birds that pop up from corpses. Okay, that was not a good time to use the Lightning Bolt spell. It's not exactly great against crowds, as I've gone over before. Oh yeah, the other fantastic thing about my rapier is that biters crawl for my victims. So yeah, I think I'll be sticking with this setup unless I get like a really good upgrade. Huh. Figures the rare blueprint I acquired is for a goddamn shield, which means it's utterly worthless. Oh well. So, if it's anything like the previous iterations, this first indoor area should just have like some goodies in it, I think. We'll see if that is the possibility to change. Okay, these guys are annoyingly placed. There we go. As squishy as they are proper mages in that they deal quite a bit of damage, so I kind of want to avoid getting hit by their magic missiles if at all possible. Still don't get why they have those weaker bats in this level. Like, they basically can't pose a threat to you at all, yeah. I feel comfortable enough with my loadout that I'm not gonna risk getting something better from the cursed chest. I wonder if it would be better to avoid killing some enemies if I can manage to do so. Namely, the enemies from which those flyers spawn, because that is easily one of the more annoying elements of this stage. Let's do the damage buffer, grenade to stun, and then go for the damage. Perfect. That's why it's so good. Look at the damage I do. I went from taking like 3 hits to kill the mages, even with rolling, to 1. That's what I mean by the damage buffer seeming to have a more potent effect than its description would imply. Yep, come on. Come up a little bit. This is the one downside of the rapier I've realized. It strikes at mid-level height, so enemies that are a bit below you will just be missed entirely. And that can be kind of annoying, especially in tense situations, but the damage and the speed is nice, and they make up for that, I think. Oh, another nice thing about the rapier that I think I have shown before, but I don't think I've ever explicitly stated. You can actually roll in the air to proc that damage bonus, which is also quite nice. Let me see what's in here before I deal with the crowd on the outside. I might be able to pick up the key here and just skip that stuff entirely. Yeah, one technique that came very handy for me in the Fog Fjord when I was dealing with the Cannoneers and the Executioners was basically using my cluster bomb to immediately stun them and then start going for melee strikes. That might be the secret to actually being successful with melee later on, is having some sort of powerful skill as an opener to stun the enemies and allow you to safely go for a bunch of hits. Mage asshole. Okay, let me buff myself. I need to go in as strong as possible. Okay! See if I can't rally a little bit. That is the fantastic thing about the rally in this game. It lasts for so long that as long as you can manage to get off a series of powerful attacks, you can basically get all of your HP back. Of course, at the risk of being unable to do so and just immediately dying if you are at low HP. it's nicely balanced, and it gives like a... It's one of many things that results in this game being very fast combat-wise, and very enjoyable. Yeah, look at that. That was a regular rapier strike, not even the crit, and it took out half of that dude's health. That's the damage buffer for you. Fantastic. Okay, crypt key. So I can probably skip what's left on the outside, although there might be level ups there. I'm actually feeling confident enough that I might throw myself at these challenges, even though I'm probably better off not doing so. Alright, let me just take a bit of a break. Oh dear. See, that's what I mean. A single mistake and I nearly lost half or more of my HP. But I recovered it, so that doesn't matter too much. You do have to use the damage buffer sparingly because it has far and away the longest cooldown of any of the skills. It's like 18 seconds. Ooh. This is tempting, mainly because of that skill of +1 to skills, which will make my cluster bomb and the damage buffer even stronger. How much stronger does that make it? So 359 damage for the damage buffer, and then 314 for the cluster bomb. Oh wow, that is a huge boost. Okay. I don't like giving up my rapier, but I think that's worth it purely for the plus to skills. I'll test it out against the next group of enemies I come across and see how I feel. Ooh, Death Orb. That is incredibly tempting, especially with that +1 to health. And yeah, look at that damage. 2399 damage per second. It might be worth giving up Cluster Bomb. Cluster Bomb is more useful if I want to, say, launch it into a group of enemies below. But the fact that it's only tier 5, ooh. Okay, I'm gonna try out Death Orb 2 and see how I feel about that. If I'm not feeling the Blood Sword or the Death Orb, I'll just switch back. I have plenty of enemies left in the stage to test this stuff out on. Wait, is there fog? Yes, there is fog here. Whew, good thing I immediately made in my exit. Alright. I'm gonna be honest, I wasn't super impressed with the Death Orb there. Blood Sword I'm actually liking, if only because it doesn't hit so low. It's a bit better at actually striking low to the ground enemies. Let's see. I think there's something moving in that fog. Yeah. Definitely sticking with the Blood Sword, I think, although I'm so indecisive. Yeah, it might just be because I'm not as used to using this setup as I was to the previous one, which I had been using for like several stages, but I think I'm gonna switch back to both the rapier and the cluster bomb. It's just something that I'm more comfortable with. I'm sorry, Death Orb. You're great and all, but I just have to go back to cluster bomb. It's not you, it's me, I swear. Please don't take it too hard. So yeah, let's see if I immediately start doing better again. That'll be some good confirmation. Okay, I dealt with that dude immediately. Took some damage, but I actually rallied it. That's the main reason why the rapier is so good, is the easily obtained crits. Which means this weapon rallies better than pretty much any other. I guess the Assassin's Dagger would be competitive with that. Not interested in the infantry bow, especially not with that 2x damage bonus. That is just something that I'm not interested in playing around with at all. Alright, it seems to be everything on the surface except whatever lies past that first door. So, time to go unlock that locked door over here. Oh, there's no easy warp point. This one's slightly closer though, I think. I gotta be real careful around those spikes because they do more damage than almost anything else. And since they're not enemies, you can't immediately strike them to rally back your HP. I should, though, have enough HP to survive falling in spikes, at least if I'm at full HP. So that should not be the cause of death for a third time. Oh, I'm missing the increased vertical range of the blood sword already, though. Okay. I was kind of confused by what was happening there in that chaos, that tight concealed space, so kind of made a few poor choices, but it still worked out. See, this is why the cluster bomb is so great. Nearly as good damage as the death orb. And I can toss it down below to a group of enemies. I think the death orb's main advantage is that if you can cast it on an unaware enemy and have them follow along with it, death orb will end up doing far greater damage than anything else, but that's kind of a specific situation. Cluster bomb is better in general. Yeah, that's why lightning is so good, especially when combined with the damage buffer. Just completely shreds through enemies. It might not be good for dealing with crowds, but when combined with damage buffer, you do so much damage in such a short period of time that you can end up effectively taking out crowds anyway. Of course, you actually have to have time to get off the first few attacks. Okay, let's just heal up here to be safe. What should I put my next level in? More HP would certainly be nice. But considering how much of a damage boost I got with damage buffer from one skill level, I kind of want to keep going with skills. Let's go with health. Give me a little bit more wiggle room for making errors. And ensure that I'll actually be able to survive spikes. Alright, buff myself in case there's anything up there guarding the mage. Okay, that wasn't so bad. Oh, I mistimed my roll there. My bad. I do definitely need to work on my dodge timing with some of these later enemies. I just haven't fought them enough to be all that used to it. Okay, so these tiny flyers do actually still end up dealing a decent amount of damage, even if they're quite squishy themselves. Okay, that's it for my healing flasks. I've been a bit too cavalier. I have to be more cautious proceeding forward. Basically, I just need to be using damage buffer more. But yeah, look at that damage. I just carved through them immediately. And it comes out so fast, and it can strike a little bit down and up. It's not as rangy as the electric whip, but pretty good. Okay, I think I keep getting struck by quicker enemies in crowds, and that stuns me. And that's the issue I've been having as of late. That zombie there, that's what that did. Alright, platforming. I'm actually more worried about this than I am the enemies at this point, just because of the sheer amount of damage that the spikes do. Not worth it. My current rapier is way better. That's the one downside to trying to use the lightning spell, is the fact that it has a fair bit of startup, so it's difficult to find the time to actually start casting it. If you can, though, you shred through enemies. I'm just gonna mistime that. I'm just gonna wait for them to pass by. This is what I mean by actually being cautious. And then, time for murder. Okay, they have a really quick attack, that's fine. I don't know what the development team is planning on adding with content patches in the future, but more enemy variety would certainly be nice. That's what I was going to say, and that's what I get for not focusing on the game, I suppose.